Okay, so welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us. You're more than welcome to open your cameras. We'll be very happy to see you, but feel free as well not to. My name is Orit. I'm the community director at ASPER-HUJI Innovate, and I want to welcome you all to our Startup Sundays event. Our events are happening once a month. They are related to innovation and entrepreneurship lectures, and this lecture is about creativity. We have a creativity workshop, so we hope it will really help you in your studies and in life and in the creativity challenge that will introduce you very, very soon. So I'll explain a bit about our center. But before that, I just want to say in a brief what we're going to do in this 1 hour and a half ish. We'll start a bit with a few words and updates about what is happening in our center, to introduce you the people that behind this workshop, and as well we'll speak with the Rothberg International School people here that will introduce you the entrepreneurship community. After that, we'll have a workshop with Adi that we'll explain very soon about, and then at the end we'll ask you a few questions of how it was, and we'll hope you have a blast. So I'll start a bit about speaking about our what is ASPER-HUJI Innovate. We are the Innovation and Entrepreneurship Center of the Hebrew University. We're established about three years ago, where the university decided that students need to get skills that will help them in the world after the academy. We have a few channels that we are operating in. We call it this Inspire, Learn, and Build. In Inspire, we have our events. This is one of them. It's a Startup Sunday, as I said. We have communities all around the university where students lead entrepreneurship communities, where they host events and workshops and things that are related to their degree, or things that they think that are missing in their field of studies. As well, we have hackathons and competitions and really cool things that we want students to kind of have an opportunity to do and try to be part of this innovation process. With us, we have Maayan here from Rothberg International School. One of our communities, our entrepreneurship communities, is part of the Rothberg International School. And Maayan, if you can maybe introduce yourself in a few words and tell us about the community.
Yeah. So hi, everyone. Some of you might know me. Some of you still hasn't met me. I'm Maayan. I'm working at the Office of Student Life at Rothberg International School. You can see here Anna, she's working with me, and she's behind the event that we're creating. And as a head of the innovation communities, we're offering events, meetings, tours all around the idea of innovation and creativity that Israel has to offer. And this is special because this is the first time we offer it in English for international students, with the help and the working together with the innovation and other communities in the university. So we hope you enjoy that. And if you have any ideas and anything that you want to try or do with us and with this program, you're more than welcome to contact us or contact me through the WhatsApp group. I will add the WhatsApp community group in the chat box down below, so you can join us for the next event in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Maayan. So as Maayan said, the Rothberg International School has one of our communities as well, but we have communities that are in physics, in consulting club, in business, in engineering, so everything that you can really think of. I'll send some links as well in the chat later if you want to join. Majority of them are in Hebrew, but very innovation and entrepreneurship is mostly in English, so a lot of the things you'll find interesting, and you can feel free to join and find people that are with you in that field. Next thing that we do, we have courses in the university that are related to, again, innovation and entrepreneurship that you can see here. And as well, we have accelerators for social innovation program or business. We have one-on-one consulting meetings. So basically, when I'll send you all the details, you can check out our website and see a lot of cool things that are happening, helping students taking their ideas and making them a reality. If you want to stay updated, I'll send you, again, you'll see the link. We have a community on Facebook that are speaking to all the students in the university, where we send all the events and competitions that we have. And one of the coolest one, and I want to introduce you, and I think this is a really amazing cooperation that we have together with the international school, is the Creativity Challenge. Every year, we are asking students to solve one issue that is related to sustainability, and get basically really amazing prizes for that. So we really want to invite you to check out this year's Creativity Challenge. We're talking about packing, and I will say that we are looking for people that will solve any issue that is relating to packing. If it's how you transport packing, how you pack, how you recycle packing, everything that you can think of, and send us a 1-minute pitch in a video, and then one of the winners will get, the first place will get 5,000 new shekels, or second place 2,000, and then we have 1,000, and then another one for the one that you know, everyone liked the most. So that's you'll be able to get that. So basically, if you have any cool idea, you can check out our website. We did all the other challenges that we chose from previous years, everything, and the winners are on our website. So people really thought about really cool things to do. So we really want to for you to do that. And as for now, we kind of wanted you to experience in what is creativity. And this is why we're doing this workshop together. So maybe that kind of will blow your mind or open new directions of thinking for yourselves, and to maybe use that in your life or use that in the Creativity Challenge. So, sorry, if you can mute yourselves, that would be amazing. I'm sorry about that. And for now, I'm going to give the honors to Adi that is here. And Adi works for Kedma, and he will we're going to run this workshop about creativity thinking, and we really hope that you will enjoy it. So Adi, that's yours.
That's your cue. Okay. Hi everyone. I would be happy if you would at least open your cameras, because most of the workshop is I will need your input, and I will need to hear you say things. Okay, great. Celeste, nice to see you in the darkness. Okay, now it's better. And what we'll try and do today, firstly, I will stutter for a little bit, because you know, when you're do this thing in Hebrew, then your mind is free. But when you have to do it, the translation spot on, it takes a bit of time. But I hope you will be forgiven. You will forgive me for a bit of lack of confidence at the beginning. Anyway, what we'll do today, in the time we have, we'll try and think about what withholds our creativity and the techniques we can use to open our minds, okay, and think about things in an open and a different way. And I am an organizational consultant. I do many workshops in many fields, from empathy in organizations and to creativeness. And if you can see the instruments in my this is the real background. It's not a Zoom background. Okay, it's real. You can actually read those books, you know. Anyway, so I play jazz music, and I do many types of arts, poetry slam, and all kinds of things. And this is what I will try to bring here about how we think about being creative. Okay, so this is what we'll do. I will be happy if you'll have some pen and paper, okay, with you, because you have to do some tricks and some things I'll ask, and then your creative thinking will do, because I don't think will be an hour of me talking about being creative. You will have to practice it a little bit, okay, because that's the only way to do. So the main thing, we won't talk exactly about packaging, of course, but we will try and understand how to think about a challenge, okay, of any kind, and see it from some different perspective. How can we take a subject and in a way try and look at it from different perspectives and maybe create something new, okay? Eventually, you can think about the creative process not as being, and what we'll do in the workshop is not about giving you the answers, okay, to a specific question, but in a way, what we'll do is try to, how do we think, how can we think, okay, in any situation, and be creative about that situation, okay? That is the way we'll try and see how things go, okay? And I will give you things like from the field of creative thinking, like the basic pillars or centerfolds that make our way we think, okay? So let's begin. I will have I will share a screen with you, but most of the time it will be me talking, and I will have on this computer, I will have the PowerPoint, so I can look, because it's in Hebrew, so I won't share something you can't really understand. Okay, so just a second. Okay, so the thing I want to begin is the few points of what really delays us from being creative. Okay, firstly, we know that children, okay, people at young age are usually more creative than people who are older. Okay, so then we have to think, why is that? I mean, we are wiser, we know more things about the world, then how come we are less creative? How come we don't think in a creative way when we grow older? And this sprouted many, philosophers and many researchers about being creative. And there are a few, I will give you 6 inhibitors, okay, 6 withdrawal of the thinking, which stops us from being creative, okay? So the first one, and why is it useful for you? Because once you are in this challenge and you want to think about it in a different way, I want you to be aware of these 6 door stoppers, okay, which will hold you to think creatively. And every time you come to I don't have an idea, you want to write an MA, okay, you want to research something, you say, okay, what's I don't have any idea. If you go to this threshold, okay, this is the beginning of thinking about creative thinking, you say, well, what's stopping me? Okay, so before, there is no chance in this workshop I'll tell you to be creative, okay? You can't say to someone, okay, be creative. All right, you can say, go to Yuan Wang and say, I want you to be creative. You have to work out a way of thinking about it. So the first thing which stops us from being creative, okay, is something we called the thinking in, just translate it in the right way, thinking in boxes, okay? Because our mind, whenever it can, okay, it thinks in, okay, this is related to this, and this is related to that. Why am I in this big, why am I like that? Yeah, it's to see myself in such it's too much for me. Okay, so because we think, why do we think in boxes? We think in boxes because our mind does, it can't in every moment of our way of our life begin to think from the beginning about everything. Okay, I see this person. Oh, this is why we have stereotypes. Okay, because we needed to organize things in the world, and our mind organizes everything. Okay, whenever it can organize something, it will organize something so it can work less. Okay, so we have to know and be aware of that. And what we have to do is we have to understand that every way we think, in a way, we think in a box. So Our mind all the time, okay, puts our thinking in boxes. This is related to that. This happens because of that. And we think that way, and we have to, I'll teach you techniques later of how to develop away from it. But the first thing you have to be aware of is that every way we see our life, every way we work, okay, it's usually in boxes, and everything is related into that way, okay? We think in categorical thinking, okay? And this is very important to be aware of, okay? Another thing which inhibits us or delays us from being creative is what the research called reflexive thinking, okay? We take something in, okay, and then we have a reflex to straight away think about it, okay? What it means is we have in a way very quick reflexes like we do in our body, okay? We defend ourselves, okay? The same thing about thinking. There is a new idea, we go exactly and very quickly to what we know, and it's a reflex. We have to be aware of those reflexes and then think about different things. So two things inhibits our creative thinking. One is thinking in a very clear set of what we know, and the second thing is the reflex thought that comes up into our mind. The first thing we think about something, okay? Somebody says to us something and immediately we have an answer or something to say. We affect to it very quickly, and we have to be aware of that because the creative thinking doesn't happen that way. It's completely new, in a different zone in our mind, in our brains, okay? And that's very important for us. Okay, the next thing, the third thing is emotional thinking, okay? Sometimes we have things like lack of confidence, fears, we have negative self-thoughts about ourselves, and that a lot of times stops us from being creative. You can't be creative, you can't think about something new if you have a lot of fear about yourself, about your lack of confidence. It doesn't let the emotional state that you're in, it will make it harder for you, okay, to be creative. You have to be in a different zone, because imagine yourself, okay, you have an idea, and even if before this idea comes to mind, you say, oh, it can be possible. Yeah, nobody will buy a Hoover without a bag, okay? And nobody will have a telephone and without something to press on. They will touch the screen, and if you immediately stop that, okay, it will hinder, okay, every new thinking you have. So that's very important. It's something you have to be aware of. How much are you afraid of thinking something new? How much is your confidence low, and that doesn't bring the new way of thinking about things? Okay, so that is the third thing that withdraws you from being creative. The fourth thing is what we call a one-dimensional thinking. Okay, many times once we have an idea, our mind closes all the options and we focus just on the one thing. Okay, this is one-dimensional thinking. We can't be aware of everything, that's true. But on the other hand, if we just have the one track mind about the one thing, it is very hard for us to develop and to see the options of other paths that we can take. So this is very important to be aware of that. How much, let's like take an example, okay? Think that you have an idea and it's the first idea you have, okay? And you go, oh, that's the best idea. And our mind usually, okay, justifies our decisions. So we have an idea, it's the first idea we thought of. Our mind, after that, decision-making, justifies that way of thinking. And immediately we don't see any other options. And all the other options people are saying to us, we say, oh no, that's a bad idea. It can't be happening. You know, I'm not going to choose that. So another way that our minds can close our way of seeing things in a different way. And we have to be aware of that, okay? The one-dimensional thinking, it's an automatic, it's something our minds and our brains does without of us being aware of it, okay? So what I'm doing to you now, I want you to be aware of the way our brain functions And once you have to think about new ideas, you will use techniques, we will talk later, that will open your mind, okay, not leave you in this one-dimensional thought, and will not give you in just the first idea to come to your mind, or will develop you to a different, more complex way of thinking about stuff. Okay, so that is the fourth inhibitor, okay, in what we call creative thinking. The fifth inhibitor is what we call the foggy thoughts. Okay, what do you mean when you say foggy thoughts? So what I mean is that many ideas in our minds and many concepts we have about things are not exactly like a computer, which you can say, oh, I know exactly what it means. This is the dictionary translation to that idea. We know more or less what is, I don't know, this idea, how a toilet works and how, I don't know, electricity works. We don't exactly know everything about that, okay? We just have a vague idea. This vague idea, it's something that when we have to be creative about stuff, sometimes stop us from being creative because we don't have a clear thought about what we want, a clear thought about what is the needs for this packaging idea. We don't have it clear for ourselves. And then out of this fogginess of thinking, we won't really have an idea, and we say, oh, I don't know, I have nothing in my mind. Why do you have nothing in your mind? Because you didn't ask the right questions. Why didn't you ask the right questions? Because you have a vague idea about the concept and not something specific. This lack of being exact, okay, will just take you back, okay, and will not bring ideas into your mind, okay? This is why many times, okay, this foggy idea is just a way of not being clear enough, and we'll try to do a bit of work later, all right, about how to dissolve this fogginess, okay? All right, and the sixth and last point, okay, is what we call the social thinking, okay? What is that, the social thinking? That, I mean, that sometimes we limit our thinking in just what we accept or what is socially accepted, all right? Oh, people will not do that, so the thought just hovers above my mind, okay? Oh, there's no, let's think about when the first texts, okay, or the WhatsApp app came into light, right? People thought, and I read about this in a few places, people say, oh, but people will not have a conversation which they record what they want to say, and then the other person answers whenever he wants. Well, why do we need this app when you record yourself and then wait for the answer? People, if the people want to talk, they'll talk. If people want to just write something, they'll write it. And the use of WhatsApp in the WhatsApp app, all right, and people talking, and then like if you see my kids, I have a 12-year-old daughter, they just talk like that. They record. So this idea wouldn't have come into light if we had our social thinking, okay, if we were bounded into our social boundaries, because this is the situation. Oh, people will not do that. People will not accept that this, no way. And then suddenly change happens eventually when we have a different, when society suddenly embraces new things because it wasn't socially accepted and now it is. Okay, so this is many situations in our creative thinking are people who say, wow, this will be the new thing. We don't think about how people are now, but how they will be. And this is very important way about when you think. And if you think about packaging, think how much social, how much the social situation can limit your thinking about what to do. Okay. Oh, people have to have packaging when they get a present. People must get their presents in boxes. Okay. And oh, it's socially acceptable. How can I think about something else? Well, I don't know. We'll have to think about that and win the prize. Okay. All right. So now I want you to start practicing. Okay. And I will give you a task, small task, and then I will hope you have things you will say from that. But what we'll do now is we'll give you like an exercise for the brain. So what I want you to write, okay, I want you to think about an object, all right, that begins in the first letter of your first name. Okay, so write an object which begins in the first letter of your first name. Okay, like my name is Adi, so I think of an object in the letter A. Okay. Can you put the screen? How do I want to see everyone? View gallery. Okay. And now I want you to take your last name, okay, and do the same thing. Try and find an object which begins in the first letter of your last name. So it will be, for me, it will be an object in the letter T. Okay. So Celeste will be an object in the letter C, a cat, and something in the letter A, or whatever. Okay. So now you will have 1 minute, and I hope I will hear you talk. And I want you to find a way to connect, okay, these two objects that were chosen randomly, all right? Maybe to create something new, maybe to find some connection between them, okay? But try to think about these two objects and find some connection to create something new. Okay, how, if you put them together, what will happen? If you take half of this and half of that, what will happen? Okay, even if it's not something that you can do, okay, but try to take these two objects and do something new with them, okay, and things that were not in your, that will not happen in any other way, okay? So take a minute and then I hope to hear from you, okay? So. Is there any way to see more of your faces in us and Pud? Oh, great. Thank you. And I don't know, Yvonne, Milsey. It's nice to meet some people from around the world. Okay. So so let's try with whoever the people I can see. So let's say Kiara. What were your two objects?
So it's a chair and a mirror.
Mirror. Okay, so that's an easy thing. But okay, so how can you connect these two things in a new way?
So I just thought about a chair that has mirrors to look at yourself. I don't know, checking your posture.
Oh, that's a good idea. A posture chair. Okay, that's a good idea. Okay, try once we move to other people, try to think about another idea, okay, of how you can connect in a new way, mirror and the chair, okay? All right, so let's go to Inas. What do you think? What were your two objects?
For the I put island.
Island, okay.
And for the D, door.
Door, okay. So
very difficult to connect.
even though tax-wise, you know, the islands and doors are exactly what people do, you know, in the way to avoid taxes and everything, you know, in that way. But how can you connect with doors and islands? What would you think? Different way to look at those two objects together, even though it seems completely not connected.
I think maybe bridges that can bring together two things that do not connect. A door opens and in order to get to the island, there should be some way. So a bridge or Yeah, so I have to think of a third object in
No,
order to connect.
But it's good. You see how once you have to, okay, you have to think about something. It gives you, it opens your mind to things that you would have thought.
Exactly.
Right? Because they say, okay,
Exactly.
an island and a door. How do you do that? Maybe the island is a door to a different space, or maybe
Yes.
the way to get to the island is through some door. All right. So it's a way to think about stuff which is not. And my association, like you say, like a tax, because people use like the Himalaya, the islands for tax invasion. So I thought, oh, maybe it's a door to not paying your taxes. Okay, so your associations and your knowledge can take you into different spaces. All right. Okay, so select vector. I wonder what you thought about the object in V. So let us know.
Okay, sure. So for C, I chose cup, and V, vase.
Vase.
And, yeah.
Good. So how would you connect the cup and a vase?
I was thinking to like smash them together and turn them into mosaics and then create a tray.
Oh, great.
Yes.
So what you did is like smash them together, you put them together, and you created something new, a new usage for the cup and a vase. Okay, good idea. And it's things which look the same, okay, more or less, but you created something which looks completely different, and that's a nice way of thinking. Great idea. Okay, I don't know how to pronounce your name, so I'll say it wrong, and then you'll connect me. So Miator.
Yes, Miator.
Miator, how are you? Where are you from?
I'm from Liberia.
Okay, great to meet you. So I don't know if you heard, but what we said, you have to take the first letter, okay, find an object, your last name, find an object in the first letter of your last name and connect them together in some crazy way. So what did you think?
Yeah, I was thinking about the first one to be magnet, and the second one to be like a vacuum. Almost like like a vacuum cleaner. And
okay.
And
good luck with that.
What I can think about, like, to make a connection with the two, maybe like a kind of strong rope that is kind of like you try to connect it to several different objects that is stick, like kind of this kind of cohesive hook. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. So, you know that the person who made the vacuum cleaner, how is it called? Dyson. He's like the richest man in the United States. Okay, and he's the creator of the Dyson vacuums, and he knew, he was like an engineer in the aeronautical field, and he said, well, I'm gonna design some new way of vacuum without a bag in the vacuum. And he tried. He had 5,000 prototypes, okay, before he managed to do something which was usable. Okay, so he also took something from the aeronautical way of thinking, okay, about engines of planes or whatever, and he said, okay, I'm going to put it in a household appliance. Okay, so and he did it in some crazy way. Hi, Itai, how are you? Are you from where are you from? What a strange name you have. I'm kidding. Okay, so that is something about creative thinking. Okay, what we did here, okay, is we took things which are not connected and they're randomly chosen by us, and we decided in a way to put them in some way. Okay, so that's something we're going to practice a little bit more later. Okay, so I want you to do now something a bit more different. Okay, a different way of creative thinking. We'll at the end. Okay, we'll put it all we put it all in. I'll put it in order, okay? But now we're just going to jump from a few things of thinking to help you develop your sense of thinking in a different way. Okay, so now I want you to take your piece of paper, okay? And I want you to make 15 circles, okay? Not connected together, 15 like I will draw it, okay? Like something like this, okay? All right, so you have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay? Not spaced out, but in a 15, maybe do 12. Okay, we'll do 12. Okay, so 12 circles. Okay, draw that. All right. Okay, and now your challenge is this. Great. Okay, now your challenge is this. You have to, in each circle, you have to make something which is in the circle. I give you an example, like a face, a sun, all right? And another 10 more ideas, okay? Which the circle is the main of the picture in some way, okay? Different things, not happy face, sad face. If you did a face, that's it, okay? If you did a sun, don't do kinds of flowers. I will not accept different kinds of flowers, just the one, all right? So 12 different things which the circle is in the center of what you did, okay? Take a few minutes, think about that, all right? Go.
Do they have to be actual things, or can they just be designs in a circle?
Do whatever you want, all right? But the circles is something. If somebody's finished, let me know, okay? I can see your faces, so. Who is the person who is Raj, who learns neurobiology? Open your camera so we can.
I'm sorry, I don't have a camera.
Oh, you don't have a camera?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
so
I'm in the lab, so yeah, sorry.
All right. So you're with us though. So you will have to tell me what your 12 circles, my dear.
Sure.
If you're a neurobiologist, I want to. I'm curious what you're thinking about.
Okay.
Okay, well, I'm giving you like a gym of creative thinking. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. All right. So so Raj, my dear, give me what the first 5-6 things you did.
Okay, I did a planet.
Okay.
And the donut.
Okay.
And the wheel.
And what's the third one? Wheel. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and like an alien ship, like a saucer, flying saucer.
All right, flying saucer. Okay, great.
Yeah.
And did you manage to do all 12?
No, not all. No,
okay, so I will later say why 12 or whatever number you choose is important. Okay, so Ines, how many did you manage to do? 12?
Yes.
All right. So give me 5 examples or whatever. The last 5. Give me the last 5 things. Yeah. Not the first 5. I believe you. We trust people. So what's the last what's the last 5 things you thought of? Not the first, the last 5.
The last 5?
Yeah.
One with the lines inside the straight lines inside the circle, one with dots inside the circle, and one with a cross.
All right, so you didn't do objects, you did things inside the circle.
And last one, the letter A.
Letter A, inside the circle. Okay, yes. That's interesting way of thinking. Great. Okay, Celeste, what's your last 2?
I did a tomato and the moon.
All right. Moon. Okay. Do we have people? I don't know, the one, Mr. Huang. Are you with us in some way? You here? Just with the camera. Okay, whatever. Okay. So why is this connected to? Hey, how are you? Good evening.
Hey, how are you?
Great. So did you manage to do 12 circles with us?
Yeah.
So what were your last 3 ideas?
Also, the words can be. I'm not sure I get the point, but I can thought of any words within the circle.
Okay.
Is the thing I understand? Do we have to choose 12 words?
No, not
Or-
all of us. You have to, in the circles, draw, all right? Use the circle as something to use as the basic of something, okay? So like I said, like the sun or the tomato or a wheel or a donut, okay? So you use the circular shape in some way and think about what to do, okay? So I will talk about this important because we have many exercises, okay? Why usually when you do this in a workshop, if I will be in front of you and we'll have time, we take 30 circles, okay? And you have to think about 30 things, okay? And why is it important? It is important because once I tell you, okay, you have to think about 30 things, your mind, because of the pressure, all right? It's 30 things, okay. Goes into places it didn't have to go before, okay? So if we take the idea of packaging and say, okay, now I need, and this is an exercise for the packaging, I will have not one idea, I will have 5 ideas. I must think about 5 ideas about the packaging, okay? Not just the one. Remember, we talked about the one-dimensional thinking, okay? How do I get away from this one-dimensional thinking? I tell myself I have to think about more, okay? This is a way to get creative. I don't limit myself. I tell myself I have to think about more than one idea, okay? If you go in groups, sometimes it's easier because many people have more ideas, but even as a group, it's a very good idea to never set yourself too soon on the one idea. Oh, that's a great one. We'll go with that. No. Say to yourself, no, I'm going to think about another idea. I think this idea is good. I'm going to have another different idea. Okay. And this exercise, the famous 30 circle idea, right? Okay. It's a good way in which we can develop our creative thinking. Okay. We put ourselves in a different mode. We have to think about filling those 30 circles, okay? So this is a very good exercise. You can use it when you think about the packaging, okay? To get out of a different ideas. Okay, now I'm gonna share the screen for something. Wait a second. Because I don't want you to see what I'm doing. Just a second now. What is it here? Okay. I will tell you what I need. Okay, that's what we talked about, the inhibitors. Okay, that's not what we said. It's not what I want. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to show you a picture. Okay, and I want you to think. Okay, I will translate what it says. It's very simple, but I want you to think, and write it down. It's in a word. All right. What is the connection, or what is the logic between the equation I'm going to show? Okay, think what is the logic behind those equations? Okay, 2 + 2 = fish. All right, 2 + 2 = fish. 3 + 3 = 8. 7 + 7 = triangle. I repeat, what is the logic between 2.2 = fish, 3.3 = 8, 7 + 7 = triangle? Okay, try and see if the connection suddenly jumps over. If it does, say yes to the camera because I can see your faces. If you know what's the logic between 2 + 2 = fish, 3.3 + 3 = 8, 7 + 7 = triangle. Did anyone already saw the connection?
I saw second and third, 3 + 3 and 7 + 7.
No, you're not in the way. That's not the logic between those equations. but it's a good way of thinking, all right? But it's not the path of this logic. You're thinking maths, you see, because you're a neurobiologist, but
No. What I meant is 3 plus 3. If you combine these objects inverted, like in a mirror shape,
yeah,
it gives you 8.
Yes. Okay,
Yeah.
now you. All right, great.
Yeah.
Okay, did you understand what he said, Celeste? Did you understand what he says? If you put 2 plus 2 in a mirror, okay, you will get a shape of a fish. Okay, if you put 3 plus 3 like this, you will get 8. I will show you the picture. Okay, you understand? Like this is like the fish, and this is like 8, and this is like the triangle. All right. So this, do you understand? Orit,
we can see the
screen?
what you're showing. Yeah.
Oh,
We see the presentation. Maybe that's the
Just a second. I'll share the screen. Show me if you see it now. Now you see the screen. Okay, so you see 2 plus 2. Okay, if you invert one of the numbers, you get a shape of a fish. And if you invert 3 and 3, okay. So how is this connected to creative thinking? Because why it's hard at the beginning? The beginning, we say, how come maths, all right, can say 2 plus 2, it doesn't add up. What's the connection to the numbers? But like Raj, right? It's your name, Raj? Yeah. So what Raj saw after a while, you know, Raj, even it took like about 30 seconds how it suddenly came clear to you, right?
Yeah.
All right. So Raj, after about 30 seconds, the mind suddenly saw the shape of the numbers, all right, and not what the numbers mean. And then the answers came through. Okay. So this is another way of creative thinking. Why? Because we look at a problem from a different perspective. To solve something, if we think packaging is something to pack objects with, and that's its sole purpose, then we will all the time see about, okay, it's something that covers something. Okay, and I told Orit before we begin, like 2 days ago, there was in the news a person who made cups of coffee cups, which are edible. Okay, edible coffee cups. So he thought differently. He said, okay, I'm not going to make something which stays forever. I'm not going to think about cups, but that's something you throw. I'm going to think about something which disappears. How it's going to be disappear? It's going to be something you can eat. All right. So that's a different way, a different dimensional thinking about the creative process. All right. All right. Another 2 short neurological, and then what we'll do later, just let me see that I'm okay with the times. Okay. And then what we'll do, we'll take everything we're practiced now in a nutshell, and we'll put it into 4 or 5 categories. Okay, so it will be easier for you to think creatively because you will be able to follow, okay, like a to-do list. All right. Okay. So I'm jumping to tell me that you see the screen when I share the screen, because sometimes you have to do it twice in this computer. Now, can you see the screen, or is it black? Orit?
We see the picture that before, like with the fish and everything.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. So now you're going to see a picture. This is a very famous, I think it's a Polish or a Romanian artist who had a few books. Orit, we have someone in the waiting room. I think he wants to come in. And he did like a very famous books with pictures. And you have to think about giving the title for the picture. All right. So I'm going to show you a picture and just think about a title and say it out loud. Okay, so what's the title? What will be the title of this picture for you? What would you think? Meator, what title would you give this picture?
I'm actually thinking about 2 things, like a box, and also I'm thinking about something like in the form of umbrella.
All right,
Yeah.
so your title is the umbrella, right? Right.
No,
okay. Yeah, go on. So you can say What did you say?
No, like I'm thinking of 2 titles, a box, and an umbrella.
A number. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
All right, Ines, what is the title for this picture for you?
Table.
A table. Okay. Celeste, what's your take on that?
Parking lot.
Parking lot. Okay, great. Raj.
I thought about the table also, a dining table.
Okay. Kiara, what would you think? How would you call this picture? Oh, you're in mute. You can be creative while you're in mute.
Sorry. A weird puzzle.
Weird puzzle. Okay, so the picture of this the name of this picture is a giraffe. Okay, crossing my window. Okay, can you see why it's a giraffe? Or the koala bear climbing the tree. Okay, you can see why it's the koala bear climbing the tree.
Yeah.
Why it's a giraffe. Okay, so you see how the perspective, okay, of the point which. So I'm going to give you another one. All right. Okay, so look about that. What do you think? Take a good look at this. What would you call this picture? Okay, there's no right or wrong here, right? You don't have to. There's no point in thinking what he thought. It's just okay. So let's start with who was last. So Kiara, what do you think is this picture? What title would you give this picture?
A ship and the iceberg.
The ship and the iceberg. Great, good. Next, Celeste.
The abandoned pyramid.
All right, okay, good. It's a name of a movie, right? Great, okay. And Ines, what would your title be?
High rise building.
High rise buildings. Okay. And Raj and Miaiter, give me a title for this. Open your mics and just say whatever comes to your minds.
I see it as a shark.
Okay.
Which is going towards the ship.
All right. So a shark going towards the ship. Miaiter?
I see it as a wheel.
A wheel.
Yeah.
How come?
I don't know. It just came to mind.
No, it's good. No, it's good. It's okay. So like first, great ideas. Okay, and we have a name of a Hollywood movie, so it's excellent. But the way he titled this picture, a witch drowning and the ship is coming to save her. Okay, something like on this basis. Okay, the witch is drowning and the ship is coming to save her. All right. So you see how he takes like the objects and he sees it from a different way. Okay, so 2 more exercises and then we'll close everything. Okay, in a more organized setting. Okay, all right. So now, like we did before with your names and first name, I'm going to show you an object. Okay, and I want you to write at least, all right, 9 usages. Okay, of this object, but not the basic usage for this object. Okay, so if like it was a car wheel, don't tell me, okay, so it's a wheel for the car. Okay, so all right, so your first object, we're just going to do one. There's 2 images here, but we do just the one. Okay, so it's a block. Okay, so find me just the one. Okay, it's the one, not many. You got this. What objects or what usages, different usages for this object you got here? Okay, think about at least between 7 and 9, but not 5. The more the merrier. All right, what comes into your minds?
Can I ask a question? Is
Yes,
the material important? Is the material of the block important for, or anything that's a block shape?
Take like a block like this. I give you this block. Tell me what you can do with it. 7 different things. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Asma, are you with us? Can you open your camera and join in? If you're here, we'll be glad. Okay, let's see what you thought of. Okay, so well, just give me like a few ideas. Okay, so Inas, what do you think about? What kind of things?
Table,
Table for
cutting
dwarves.
board,
Okay.
cutting board,
Okay, great.
bed, door,
Okay.
window,
How would you do?
chair.
How would you make this a window?
You can close an open space, just
All right.
block.
Okay, great ideas. Great. Okay.
Chair.
Okay, chair is good.
And stone, just throw it.
Throw it. Oh, so a weapon. Don't say a stone. Say it's a weapon.
Yeah,
it's a weapon against.
Yeah.
It's a weapons against thieves.
To
Okay,
hit,
they come. You
yeah,
break their heads.
To
hit
defend
someone.
yourself. To
Of
hit
course.
somebody.
Very, very important, especially in Israel. Okay. Okay, so Celeste, give us like 2 ideas you had.
If you go camping and it's very windy, you can use it as to keep your tent down, your blanket, your towel.
So it's a tent holder, and it costs a lot of money because people who need tent holders, they will pay a lot for this. Okay, great.
And you can use it as a doorstop.
Doorstop, great. Okay. Okay. So anybody has like a crazy another idea he wants to say? Like, I don't know. Okay. So why is this important? Again, it's important because we take the thing we see, and because we have to think about 9 ideas. There is even people who they call the 111 challenge or whatever. They take one object and you have to think, all right, about 100 usages for that. Okay. Now it's crazy, and you think about crazy stuff, but why is it good? Because it opens your mind to things you can't see the first minute you see that. Okay, because like we said, you have inhibitors, which keeps your mind at bay. And you say, oh, it's a block. Okay, I will need a few more and I will build a house. No, but it's a weapon. It's a tent holder. It's something which closes an open window. Okay, it's something which you can climb up and you know, and think about how many things are, I don't know, packaged in a different way and sold to us, even though we know it's the same thing we just said a few weeks ago, but a new way of holding it, translating it, thinking about it, suddenly it's a new usage. So this is how we develop our new things. We force ourselves to think more about more usages to the thing we need to know. And let's think about packaging, all right? So imagine once you start this creative process, you say, okay, packaging, let's think about new things packaging can do instead of just doing the packaging. Okay, think about you're all in universities and you have to think about things you have to write about, subjects. How can you tackle a new idea in the situation that you're doing? All right, so I'm writing a list of different aspects of this thing, and then finally, new things come to light. This is the creative process. And the last exercise for what we'll do today in this chapter is, I want you to write, this is a very famous exercise. You have to write what's, how do I say it in English? What's like the what's hadimion, what's the similarities, okay? What's the similarities between a cat and a refrigerator, okay? What the similarities between a cat and a refrigerator? What comes to your head, to your mind? What's the similarities? Let's just say what you think. If you think, what's the similarities between a cat and a refrigerator? I'll give you like one, okay?
Both.
Yeah, go on, Raj.
I thought like both stand on 4 feet.
Great. Both stand on 4 feet. Excellent. Okay, good. I will add one myself. They both have a tail, okay? Because the cat has a tail and the refrigerator has a tail, right? Dingling from behind and connecting to the socket. Another idea. What else?
Maybe like from this fridge, like it has 2 openings and the cat has 2 eyes.
All right. So something about fish. All right, great. So they both love to have fish inside them. Okay. Is that okay? Great idea. Next.
You can also take it as like when the cat opens its mouth, it makes a noise. And if you have a very old fridge, when it opens up, it also makes a noise.
Okay, good, good. And a new cat and an old refrigerator are the same. That's what you're saying, right? Great idea. They both purr. Okay, good. Okay, great. Another one. Just think of just one last one. Okay. Orit, you have any idea?
I can say
I'm a dog person, so
Oh,
basically, so it's they're both cold.
They're both cold.
Cold-hearted.
Good. They're both cold. Very good. Good. And Mieter, you were saying something before.
No, that was exactly what I wanted to talk
Really?
about. Like, cool, yeah.
Great. Firstly, geniuses think alike. That's what I'm going to say, because it's really a great way of thinking. But all right, and think about your thoughts. All right, you suddenly had to think about something you didn't have to think about, and something came up. All right, you think, oh, what does he want from us? But eventually, because you're in this structure, all right, of me giving you something to think about, creative thinking is starting to evolve, which means it will help you to get creative once you block yourselves into different categories. Okay, think in different spaces. Okay, think in different ways. I will tell you in a few seconds in what ways, and then suddenly the ideas will come. And a eureka moment, okay, doesn't come when you just sit there and say, oh, I'm just waiting for something to happen. No, we want the ideas to evolve. So you have to be in a mindset of creative, and we're already starting to feel how it comes to light. Firstly, we have to think about more ideas than the first one. Okay, never let your first idea be the first one. Maybe you'll return to it because it's the best, but on the paper, write more ideas. Okay, so let's know what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and give you like the different techniques which you can think about creative thinking. This is called the TRIZ, T-R-I-Z. All right, it's a very it began a few years ago by a Jewish, I think, Russian person who took he examined 40,000 patents, okay, in the patents places, all right, and he tried to think to see if they had like a common way of thinking about the patents, all right, and then in Israeli researchers in the 80s tried to simplify them. He had like 40 different ways of thinking, and he made it into a few, okay, about 10 or maybe 8, but we will talk about like the first few because they're more important, and I don't want to overload you with information, okay? So just a second. Okay, I will put it in the I will share the screen and we talk about it. There is not a lot of Hebrew there, so I will say, okay. Never mind. Okay. So let's think about ways of thinking. Just a second. I'm moving it to the other screen. Okay. So the first thing is adding. Okay. This is the first way of thinking creatively. You can get something new. All right, about packaging. If you add 1 + 1 = something new. This is the first way of thinking about creative, about developing your creative thinking. Okay, what can I add to it and give it a different value? Like, okay, take a chair and you take a swing and you do new idea. Okay. You do this, and you can take a screwdriver and you can take a knife and you put them together, all right? And you have something new. This is a way, okay, of new ideas coming into the world in a way of adding to something. Think about like a pencil, and then you add it to a rubber, all right? And then you have something new, okay? So adding an additional thing to an object, to something you know, and in this adding process, you can develop something new. Okay. Okay. this is like when the developer of Nike shoes, all right, so he saw this and he said, oh my God, maybe I'll put rubber, all right, in this machine and see what happens. And eventually this is what, okay, made the running shoe. Okay, so okay, another way of thinking about stuff is about the opposite of adding. How do you say that? The subtracting. Okay, thank you. Yeah, subtraction. Okay, so it's subtracting. Sometimes if you subtract something which is inherent in an invention, okay, and you take it away, what will happen? Okay, let's take, for example, if you think about glasses, what is the most important thing in glasses instead of beside the lenses? It's holding it inside, all right, in front of your head. What if you take this away? What happens if we say, no, I don't want something to be in front of your eyes. I don't want the frame. Then you come up with an idea, all right, which is completely new, okay? You take the glasses, you take away the frames, and you come up with a contact lens, all right? So you take some invention, you take a packaging and say, okay, what if I take away, I don't know, the covering essence of the package, all right? I don't know, what happens then? What happens if I delete or omit some essence, some important essence of an object and see what fills this vacuum, okay? And this is very important in creative thinking. Great ideas come from that you think, wait a minute, what happens if I lose this important thing that was defining this object? If I take it away, maybe something new will arrive, okay, will arise from that. So one thing is to add another thing to it. The packaging can do something else. Something is, like we said, it's taking something out, okay? A third way is dividing it. What do I mean by dividing? Okay, it's taking the problem and dividing it into little different aspects of it and think about every aspect in a different way. Well, at least I would go to my computer, see, okay. All right, just a second, okay. Sometimes when we do this division, okay, which we have to ask, what does it do? Okay, what's the processes that make this thing do what it does? Okay, sometimes when I divide this into different stages, I can look at a different stage and it will bring a different picture. Again, this is a way to avoid all these problems that we talked about in the beginning, okay, about one-dimensional thinking, about being set into our sociological state of mind. Okay, all these things is about to do differently. Okay, another thing, it's to multiply. Maybe if I take the object and I will give it extra things it can do. Okay, look at the picture and you will understand what I mean. Imagine you take one element of an object and you multiply it with a slight difference, like this. Okay, you have, don't know how it's called in English, like
Greater.
Greater, yeah, right. You take a greater, all right, and then you multiply and you do it in a difference, and then you have a new invention. Okay, so this is a very good way, okay, to take ideas and to think about them in a different way. Now, for you, if you want to create new ways of packaging, don't think, okay, I'm waiting for an idea. What you need to do instead is maybe I can add something to it. Okay, no. Maybe I can distract something from it. No, maybe I can multiply it, all right? If you think about multiplying, think about the packaging in the world we live in today, okay? How much packaging there is. They are creating and inventing new packaging in a crazy way because we want to open and open more, right? So it's just it's crazy, all right, about what he does. Okay. I have about 12 minutes, right? 5, 7, 12. Okay. Okay, I want to go to tell you two more things. We talked about multiplying, and this is the concept of reversing. Okay, upside down, like, okay, taking a situation and maybe seeing it from an upside down situation. Maybe it shouldn't be like that. Maybe I don't know. The packaging should be inside the present and not outside. I don't know. Okay, maybe in some way. Okay, let's turn it around. It can be physically, like in this picture, but it can also, okay, but it also doesn't have to be in the physical sense. It can be maybe in the concept of it. Okay, for example, if you think of something and it usually happens at the end of something, okay, so you can say, wait a minute, maybe if the concept of packaging maybe if a packaging is at the beginning of the thing, right? Okay, because it's something which is hiding something, which is at the end of it is, but what happens if the packaging is the main thing and it happens at the end? What if the packaging is part of the game of getting something new from a person? Okay, I don't know, maybe it's different. Maybe it's the packaging can be connected to different things, and you write, I don't know, I'm just saying stuff. You can write on the backwards of the packaging something like a story, and then you have to look for it in a different Christmas present in the house, all right? So then the packaging itself is in a way a challenge for someone, okay? This is like reverse thinking, because instead of something you see at the beginning, you throw something at the end, which draws the picture. This is a different way of thinking about creative thinking. Okay, I will take 2 minutes, okay, and just throw you into another dimension, okay, about creative thinking, and that will be it. All right, so I'm just have to, because I'm changing some stuff, I just want to, okay, and two important aspects I want you to add to your thoughts, okay, is asking many questions. All right, try to ask as many questions as you can. Why, where, okay, how, think about that, okay, and see where it leads you, okay? Why do I need this object? When do you use it? Where is it used for? You have to write all the WH questions and try and fill, okay, and try and fill them with some kind of answers. This is a good way to get the sense of what is it used for, okay? Even if you think the answer is like not, why do I have to ask how is packaging? But it's a good way of thinking about it. Ask as many questions as you can in the beginning of the process. Very important once you want to do, especially in your kind of creative thinking, which is inventing something new, which is in the factual world, all right? It's not like the work of art. You don't have to ask questions about the work of art, but in your product way of thinking, it's very important to ask those questions, okay? So limit yourself to ask as many questions as you can. Use all the WH questions. That's one thing which is very important. And the last thing I want to say, just let me choose which one I want to let you learn about. Just a second. Okay, I will talk about one thing, okay? Just 1 second. Last share, and this will be our last point. Okay. Okay, I want when there is a researcher called Michael Kirtan, and he developed like 2 ways of thinkers, okay? The adaptive thinker and the creative thinker. And I want you to know about these 2 mindsets, all right? Think about these 2 mindsets. So then you can once you have an idea, see where it fits. Like the adaptive thinker is someone who thinks about improving something in the world of the idea, of the main idea itself. For example, okay? For example, it's good with examples. Like if you had, like the example he says in his book, he says, okay, think about, I want to invent something that will, it's another example about cats. I didn't know there would be two. I'm a dog lover myself, but something about cats. Okay, so I said, okay, so I don't want to have smell of the cat litter in my house. Okay, so bring me a new idea. So if the adaptive thinker, he will think about things, now listen, okay, that is around the litter. Maybe a new chemical which makes it less smelly. Maybe a lid, okay, for the thing in the house, okay? The adaptive thinker thinks about new things in the realms of the main thing it thinks about. The creative thinker will take and think about the solutions in a completely different way. For example, a diaper for the cat. A video in YouTube, very famous, which will teach you how to make your cat go to the toilet by himself, okay? It doesn't think in the way of solving the problem in the world of the problem. It takes the idea into a completely different world. It says, okay, let's think about it for a completely different, but it will answer the same it will give solution to the same problem, not having so much bad smell of cat litter in the house, okay? So these are the two ways you can think about problem solving, okay? The adaptive thinking will be about giving solutions to the problem itself. The creative thinker will take it from a completely different point of view, all right? This is Michael Keaton and things he did in the way of creative ways you can approach problems, right? And you have a problem. You have packaging, okay? How do you do something new about it? Are you just gonna be, for example, it's not bad, but how can you adapt and be an adaptive thinker and develop it? Like have an amazing, I don't know, a packaging which automatically fits to every size of package, all right? Or you'll think, I don't need packaging like that at all. I will do a different idea. I don't know. If I had an idea, I will tell Orit, and maybe I can get 5,000 shekels, but so I'm not going to give everything. I don't really have one now. All right. So guys, thank you very, very much. I hope it was interesting for you. And I was happy to find to listen to your crazy, weird, strange ideas. You are very weird people, and it was great to pick your brains. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, and thank you everyone for participating. I'll send you, if you can stay just 1 minute. Adding a poll to this conversation, and I have a link here for you to join the Creativity Challenge. So if you learned from the amazing different way of thinking how a fridge related to a cat, you can maybe try and participate in our challenge and get really, really cool prizes. So wishing you all the best, and toda rabba, Adi.
Thank you very much, guys. And keep me in there. I will be happy to hear from you what ideas were chosen. So send me whatever. Okay, great. Bye, guys. Great to see you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.